Welcome back to News and Views right here on Salam Media with myself, Salailo Makwidire. Right now, we'll be turning our attention to a case that Salam Media has been following quite closely. That's the case of Ziyadh Hoorzook. It's a case that has raised significant legal and human rights concerns. We've all read about it. The arrest and detention of Ziyadh Hoorzook was accused of terror financing under what I think one might call controversial laws. And after spending weeks in custody, Ziyadh was granted bail yesterday, marking a very, very crucial turning point in his case. But many questions remain. Was this a case of justice, or was an innocent man caught up in an excesses of an overzealous system? And joining me right now to discuss the latest developments and what this means moving forward is Ziyadh's attorney, Yousha Tayob. Yousha, assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah so much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on board.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to yourself and the listeners, viewers.
First and foremost, can you give us, some details about yesterday's bail ruling? What were some of the key arguments that led to Ziyadh finally being granted bail?
So, in essence, the magistrate dealt primarily with Section 60 sub 4, Sections A to E of the Criminal Procedure Act. And you will recall, I'm not sure if I said it before, but the investigating officer considered that all those aspects of the matter, interfering with witnesses, tampering with evidence, and the like, was not an issue. The only concern that the investigating officer had was that he was a flight risk and would not attend to his trial, which we seriously cross-examined in the hearing on the basis that a warrant and a search and seizure operation was conducted on the 3rd of October 2024, and that the arrest was effected early January, it was in January, that he hadn't disappeared, he hadn't made any attempt to leave the country, despite the fact that he knew he was under investigation. And the court similarly found that to be the position. The court, in its judgment, made reference to a number of concessions that the investigating officer had made in the witness box, and the evidence we presented to suggest that while this wallet might have existed at November 2017, the organization to whom he is alleged to have given it to and the advertisement on which they rely only appeared in social media. Well, so the organization only appeared in social media in March 2018. And the particular advertisement that they rely on to persecute him is dated June 2019. And we now know also that the declaration, the unilateral ex parte declaration of this organization as a terrorist entity or terrorist e-wallet only emanated in the USA in 2020. So we've already pointed out the difficulties we see in this matter to the state, and it's now for them to investigate and rectify and hopefully withdraw. But I mean, we alhamdulillah, we're very happy that he's 25 nights in custody. He's now out. There are a number of conditions attached to his bail, which he will comply with, and the matter has been postponed to the 3rd of March 2017 for further investigations.
Do you mind unpacking some of those details regarding his bail, some conditions to his bail? What are those that the court has requested?
Okay, so the first of them was an amount of 30,000 rand to be paid as bail. The second was surrendering of his passport, which we had done as early as the 3rd of January 2025. I personally handed the passport to the investigating officer. He has to report 3 times a week to the Sandton police station, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., which will commence this coming Friday. And he has to send a live location via WhatsApp to the investigating officer on request. So those are the conditions.
And now that Ziyadh is out on bail, what are some of the next legal steps, and how strong is your defense when it comes to this case? And just lastly, because we've run out of time, if you can just answer all those in one, are you confident that the charges will be dropped, looking at your case and what you're presenting before the judge?
So in essence, if the NPA re-looks at what evidence was led in the bail application, I'm hoping that they will reconsider persecution in this matter. With the amount of concessions made in regard to the dates and times, we believe that we have already established a defense. There will be a time, if they don't withdraw, that we will have access to the docket and substantially more information that we've already been given. We then have the right to make representations to the state in regard to pursuing the charges against him. And if that fails, eventually a trial date will be set, and the state will have to call its evidence, and we will cross-examine that evidence and hopefully do the damage we believe we can do, and get what is called a Section 174 discharge. And even if Ziyadh is put to the sword on his defense and will testify, we know it was an innocent transaction. We've already got a concession from the investigating officer that a previous innocent transaction was not prosecuted. So we
All right, we seem to have lost Yousha Tayob there for a moment, but I think while we try and get him back, we're gonna go for a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll just wrap up the conversation we have with him regarding Ziyadh Hoorzook's case. I'm sure you would have heard that he was granted bail yesterday, and yeah, he'll be out, and we've heard some of the conditions of that bail from the magistrate, but we'll just unpack a bit further with Yousha Tayob, who's Ziyadh's attorney, on some other details regarding this case and where they look to take it from here, and just how strong do they believe that their case is. But we'll be touching on those after the short break.
Joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
It will be part of the history that during the difficult time that we face, the only country and community stand with us is South Africa and its people. Alhamdulillah, we would like to say thanks a million to everyone standing. You see, let Trump and his people say what you'd like to say. At the end, we are the owner of the land, you see, and this is our land, and let him plan, let him do what he would like to do, but at the end, we are the decision makers. We are the owners of this land. He's speaking theoretically, but practically, there is very strong linkages between the soils and the people there and the land. Yeah, we are aware about all these plans to evacuate or to take the people of Gaza out, so it will be like empty. But at the end, this is part of our religion, this is part of our aqidah, this is part of our blood, so no one can like release us and evacuate the Gazan people from their land.
Durban-based Palestinian PhD student, and he is Abdul Rahman.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity.
At the moment, we are focusing on a portion of the land. So they have like 1,000 hectares. And here we're talking about 1,000 square meters that they have to give up. So they still have massive sizes of land that they can utilize. And to give off 1,000 or 2,000 square meters, and they have hundreds of hectares of land, shouldn't be cause them any hardship. But at the moment, Al-Jama'ah just focusing on 1 million farm dwellers that are in danger of being forcibly removed from land that their families have occupied for generations.
Deputy Minister of Social Development and leader of Al-Jama'ah, and that of course is Brother Khalid.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Welcome back. You're still tuned in to Salam Media, and we're still talking to Yousha Tayob. He's the attorney of Ziyadh Hoorzook. If you remember the case, he was accused of terror financing, and this was under very, very controversial laws. And after spending weeks in custody, ultimately Ziyadh was granted bail yesterday. And this has really, really marked a crucial turning point in this case, a case that we've been following quite keenly here on Salam Media. And we still have his attorney, Yousha Tayob, on StreamYard. Yousha, jazakallah so much for staying with us. Before we lost you there for a moment, we were still talking about, what's next for you. The first hurdle has been overcome. Ziyadh has been granted bail. What comes after this?
So, at the close of the proceedings yesterday, the prosecutor indicated that the matter was to be postponed for further investigation. I found that quite surprising because the investigating officer's testimony in his evidence was that the investigation is complete. So we'll start making noises about that. The prosecutor in court was not the same prosecutor that opposed the bail proceedings. It was the resident Lichtenburg prosecutor, and she indicated she was not in possession of the docket because the magistrate specifically asked her what was outstanding for the purposes of further investigation. I'm hoping that as a result of the concessions made in the evidence, the prosecuting authority will re-look at these charges and withdraw same. If they don't, the matter is postponed to the 3rd of March. At that point, we will be given to understand what is outstanding. We'll hopefully then, if they continue, we'll set a date for us to receive the copies of the contents of the docket in order for us to get substantially more information regarding these charges. Depending on what we see, we may or may not make representations to the state in regard to a withdrawal. If it's withdrawn, that will be the end of the matter. If it's not withdrawn, a date for trial will be set and the matter will proceed to trial.
There were allegations about firearms that were found at Ziyadh's home. Can you clarify the facts? Were these firearms legally owned, and was this charge maybe simply an administrative technicality by the court?
No, it is a charge on the charge sheet. He's the lawful owner of 3 or 4 firearms, I'm not sure. They have charged him for negligent retention. But what did happen was that after the firearms were seized, almost 2 weeks later, I was given a call by the investigating officer for Ziyadh to deal with the DFO at Sandringham SAPS, and the firearms were returned to him. So there is a charge of negligent retention of the firearms, but we have an explanation for that, which I don't want to disclose just yet. And so that charge is there. There's no technical defect, but we will answer to that charge. It didn't feature much in the bail hearing or the judgment. It certainly is there. We have an explanation, and the firearms have been returned to him.
Let's touch a bit on the impact that this case has had on Ziyadh and his family. You're quite close to them. He has been in custody for weeks now. From your observation, has this experience affected him emotionally and mentally? And if you can just give insight to our viewers on where he is right now, when it comes to those aspects.
Alhamdulillah, he's supported. He's got a great support structure. A lot of people were attending at court. I previously explained the delays in this matter. We could have finished this bail application in a day. We didn't. And then when we did come back for the bail judgment, because of the logistical issues on electricity, there was a further postponement. I physically saw his shoulders drop. I think he was tired at that stage. By Monday night, so Tuesday we got. By Monday night, he'd effectively spent 25 nights in custody. By the time the magistrate had postponed the matter, he'd already been in custody for 19, 20 odd nights. So we were all hopeful that the judgment would be given on that day. It was delayed for logistical reasons. But he's got a great family support structure, spiritually strong family, and it reflects in him as well. He constantly used the word tawakkul. He's a strong boy. He's a strong boy, and he's supported by a very strong family. And alhamdulillah, everybody was very happy yesterday. There was tremendous joy when the decision was given. We waited until the bail was processed, and he came out of the cell. He came out of the courtroom. Lots of hugs, lots of tears, a lot of muhabba. Alhamdulillah, he's a strong boy, and he's got a good family, and he's got a great support structure. Alhamdulillah.
There's a growing perception that terror-related laws are selectively applied here in South Africa, and they are often targeting Muslim individuals. Do you think Ziyadh's case fits into this broader trend, into this broader narrative?
So I think I've said it before. This matter stinks of political interference. Completely stinks of it. And hopefully we're going to be considering a number of actions which I don't want to disclose right now. But we want to get to the bottom of this, and we want to know who's driving this process, because it's clearly not an independent NPA prosecution. It's and I've used the word a few times. It's a persecution. And I think the attack is not only on Ziyadh, but the entire charitable Muslim public of South Africa. There's an ulterior motive here. There's too much going on here. Too much.
And I think we're going to leave it on that note. Yousha, thank you so much for joining us and always being available to give us the latest regarding this case, one that I think is very, very important, for the Muslims of South Africa particularly, and one that has, really taken the attention of everyone involved. We're going to leave it here for now, but we'll definitely be hearing from you if there are any new developments regarding this case. And again, thank you so much for always availing yourself.
Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam. That was Attorney Yousha Tayob. He's representing Ziyadh Hoorzook. And the good news is that he was granted bail yesterday at the Lichtenburg Magistrate Court. And this was in the terror financing case against him. So it's going to be really, really interesting what the new developments are going to be in this case. And as I mentioned, we'll be giving you the latest regarding it right here on Salam Media. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, News and Views continues.